Hello, I'm Jo Lewis, the Chief Executive of Wiltshire Wildlife Trust. This has been my first year as CEO, and I've had the privilege of witnessing firsthand the positive impact that the Trust has had on so many special landscapes and so many people's lives across Wiltshire and Swindon.
So Wiltshire Wildlife Trust is delighted to be taking on the management of more than 200 acres of farmland here at Great Chalfield as part of this innovative partnership with the National Trust and with Great Western Community Forest. Great Chalfield has always been a special place where space is made for nature, for wildlife corridors around the hedges and the edges. But now, with the latest thinking in terms of regenerative farming, there's the opportunity to bring nature and trees as well back into the middle of the fields. And we'll be planting more than 11,000 trees.
The new San Martin hide, we've got about 160 nest holes on the hide, which hopefully if we get to full numbers, the view from the hide is particularly good to see the birds coming in and out. Alongside the hide, we've got all of the screening which has just been done, and it just acts as a screening proof for birds so that they don't get disturbed by people as they walk along towards the hide. The recent acquisition of Dixon Meadows, that's been a really exciting addition to the site. It extends along the Wylye on both the carrier side and the main river side, basically an extension of a lot of the habitat that you get on site.
Swindon Lagoons is just an amazing place. The site is mostly managed by volunteers. This is right in the heart of Swindon. You can hear the drills going on just behind us. But in between the drills, you'll hear the noise of the little reefs, etc. here on the lagoons. And these lagoons go through different series of succession, and we find big populations of things like jack snipe and regular snipe on this site. I think here we have a really good regular group of volunteers. They get real positive value from them. In terms of wildlife, this is a major migratory route for a whole range of different birds and species.
The new thing for me is actually the thermal camera that I have around my neck here. So I've been monitoring birds on this site since 1992, and we can now come in low level light conditions, and I can see how the birds are behaving at night. And in fact, just out the hide here, something as simple as the fact that I can see a muntjac curled up underneath a log that we'd never have seen without a thermal camera.
We've actually done really well with the calving at Coombe Bissett. With one set of twins, we've actually got 42 calves from 41 cows, and all the calves are looking fantastic. Cattle are really great for our conservation grazing. Not only will they break through some of the thicker scrubby areas, but they also do really well on the grassland areas. The conservation benefits of that is fantastic.
The aim of the project is to connect 3 hotspot habitats for butterflies. Increasingly, we're starting to realise that habitats, no matter how good they are, can't exist on their own. So increasingly, we're focused on connecting habitats, working in partnership with other organisations.
We were delighted that BBC Countryfile shone a spotlight on Wiltshire Wildlife Trust back in March with our 2 new nationally important nature reserves at Greatwood and at Bay Meadows. So a huge thank you to BIFRA Award, to the National Lottery Heritage Fund, the Hills Group, the Underwood Trust, and all of you who donated to our appeals.
In front of us here, we've been doing some meadow restoration by doing some scything and removing some of the nutrient from the meadow. And we're also doing quite a lot with engaging the public, so we put new infrastructure in to try and improve people's experience as they visit the nature reserve.
Areas like this section behind me that really showed us how promising the site could be in terms of a restoration project. We've got our native oaks, holly and some understory behind us, that dappled shade that comes with our native tree species and this ancient woodland habitat, and that's what we've been aiming for with this BIFRA project, to slowly restore this woodland to its former glory.
Connecting people with nature is a big focus for the Trust, and I find it so inspiring to hear the stories of how our care farms and our wellbeing teams are offering renewed hope to those facing mental health challenges. This nature-based provision really changes lives.
So we're here running a 12-week men's wellbeing programme. It's funded by Wiltshire Council and it's running over 2 years. We're addressing a range of different issues that men commonly struggle with, so we're experiencing a crisis in men's wellbeing across the UK.
Doing this every Monday is a great way to start the week. It just encourages you to get up and you're in the company of a lot of lovely people, all in a similar boat to you, so there's a really good chemistry. You walk away learning new stuff. I've really enjoyed whittling and carving, that's been fantastic.
I became a VSA and I've helped several other people. I've done different courses with wellbeing, first aid with mental health, and every time I do it I just love it.
We're also working within workplaces, so we're going into businesses and offering support for people who are in work but in danger of dropping out. On the edge of Green Lane Wood, we've been developing a forest garden, and so we're working with nature to grow food for eating and also increasing the biodiversity through planting things that are really good for pollinators. The benefits for people have just been enormous. Encouraging people to take time in nature to realise the wonderful green spaces that we have here in Wiltshire and across Swindon, and how much difference that can make to their day-to-day life. They come here once a fortnight. They've already taken part in our Swindon Wellbeing programme, so they've had at least 6 months of support going out into nature and green spaces. And so we teach them skills and horticulture and growing food, growing flowers, and we're showing them how to garden in a wildlife friendly way, so that they're giving something back to nature, if you like.
I've become a VSA, so I used to be a participant. So in a way I'm saying thank you to Wildlife Trust, because there's no doubt about it, the Wildlife Trust has changed things for me from 5 years ago. This rhubarb is like a metaphor in a way. When it first started, it was just one stalk over there, and now it's flourishing. And I feel I'm flourishing too.
The highlights of the past year at both care farms have been bespoke training for all of our staff members, and that was in autism and self-esteem for children. So all the extra training that we have done has meant that staff members can better meet the needs of our students, they can understand the behaviours and the challenges that our students are facing.
For this project, we are coming to the end of planting 7,000 trees here, but come November this year, we're going to be planting another 8,000 trees. There's many highlights. One of the biggest ones is how impressed I've been that we have 150 regular volunteers that come out, give up their own time, and also we have people with complex needs that turn up and they are really happy doing it. That makes me happy. We're increasing the habitat, and as you can see here at Shore Forest Park, we're adding to these quite amazing woodlands, which we've seen huge groups of siskins this morning, creating corridors and connecting up and adding to the Great Western Community Forest.
Volunteers are the lifeblood of Wiltshire Wildlife Trust, and we rely on having volunteers to help in so many different opportunities that we provide. And I'd just like to say thank you to all the many volunteers who do volunteer with us. One of the areas at the Trust where we heavily rely on volunteers are our wildlife watch groups. An opportunity for families to get involved in nature in a fun and interesting way.
Over 700 volunteers contributed 11,785 hours of volunteering, all helping us to realise our ambition to encourage 1 in 4 people to take meaningful action for nature.